This is episode 61 of Standing Out. Standing Out is a remarkable interview style podcast with the intention to highlight women and men making outstanding contributions in their field. This podcast is generously sponsored by Think Global. Think Global is a business advisory firm working with women entrepreneurs around the globe to scale their businesses to the next level. Today, I'd like to welcome Amy Vance. Amy started Eco Modern Concierge in 2005 when she was an undergrad at the University of Houston, where she got her bachelor's degree in consumer science and merchandising, and later her master's degree in commerce and future studies. It all began as a hobby in addition to school and a full-time job, as well as a means to pay for her study abroad programs in Mexico and Spain. Since graduating, she's been lucky enough to turn what she loves into a full-time career, and she wouldn't have it any other way. She is passionate about what she does, and her clients are so important to her, it seldom ever feels like a job. Every day awaits a new and unpredictable challenge. Amy, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us, okay, so any student is busy enough as it is, and then having a job and this other hobby, how did that start? You were just kind of doing this for fun?
So I was doing it so I was working in oil and gas. So Houston is a big oil and gas place. And so I was doing that part to full time. They had to let me have a very flexible schedule.
Yeah.
And I knew I needed to make more money and to pay for college and to pay for living expenses. And so that is how I started doing stuff on the side. And then once I started building up clientele, doing it at night and weekends, I went full time.
That's amazing. How did you get this idea for Eco Modern Concierge?
So it initially started out just as I started out doing house sitting and pet sitting. And
okay.
I slowly got asked to do more personal assistant stuff / organization. But once I started doing organization more, that's when they really asked me to start doing more personal side of things. So it kind of gets all involved. And eventually I got rid of the pet sitting and house sitting part of it, which was a very lucrative part, but it just wasn't where my passion and drive was at that moment, and I wanted to focus on space.
So tell me about that. When you work with a client and you're doing personal organization, what does that look like? Because I imagine how I organize is you take everything out of the closet and you just start over. Does it look like that?
Well, it depends on the client. So every client and everything is totally different, but usually a closet. We do usually keep everything out and we go through and purge. Sometimes I give them homework and they can purge on their own, or we purge together. And so I can really talk them through what the process is. And then I start putting stuff back in and organizing in that fashion. And I get their opinion and see what flows best for them. I have very they like to do stuff, but sometimes people, that's just not how it works for them. So it has to work for you. So
do people have a hard time purging? Do you look at things like, hey, this has got to go, and the client is like, no, that can't go?
Always.
What has been the most unique item that you knew it had to go and the client was like, not having it?
Well, I don't know if there's a specific item, but I can tell you clothing is the number one thing they have the hardest time letting go.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff from the 80s and and they're never going to wear it again.
Right.
Those are things that they have the hardest time letting go because it brings back memories. That's why it reminds them of certain parts of their life. So
right. I have a pair of jeans like that. I call them my skinny jeans that I won't let go. They certainly don't fit, but one day I hope they do.
That's everybody's hope, always.
Right. Right. So, so as you were finishing up school and this was growing from more than a hobby into an actual business, what did you have to do to make this a real business model? Was that a challenge? Did you know how to do it, and how did you make that happen?
So I took some business courses in college, and I applied those to my business. And all my studies in college really helped me because I had so many resources. But honestly, more than anything, I just was winging it.
Wow.
And then I took small business classes. So we have the Small Business Resource Center here in Houston. So I've taken small business classes, and then being a woman-owned business. I've taken a lot of classes and gone to conferences and just networked and talked with other individuals to mentorship, because I wasn't perfect. So, but I kind of just developed it. And then I did, of course, a business plan and all that.
Right. Do you feel like things change as you grow in your business? Is your business plan the same as it was in the beginning, or has it evolved?
It's evolved.
It's
definitely.
evolved. What's one of the biggest evolutions within that?
So I would say I guess I was more, even though I had a study abroad of how I wanted to be, I didn't think certain things technology-wise would be where they are today. So I started 12 years ago, and things were totally different than they are today. And so that way it has evolved, being able to communicate with clients, especially. More clients are responding to text. That's their preferred method, and instead of email or phone calls. And so it's evolved just in all different aspects.
Yeah. It's true. You know, there's a stat out there right now that people read and respond an email within 90 minutes. People read and respond to a text within 90 seconds.
Right.
That's amazing. And I think that's, and we're seeing the same thing too. Both clients and team members or even partners are texting much more than emailing. Right. Kind of a cool evolution. So as an entrepreneur, and you've been on this journey now a while, so 12 years, right? So we all know that there's highs and lows in the entrepreneurial journey. So how do you get through some of your lows?
So some of my lows, it just depends, depending on what the low is. Being a professional organizer, so the concierge side of the business, there isn't a whole lot of networks and groups to really console with all the time.
Okay.
But on the organizing side, there is. And so just kind of talking through certain things, because I mean, essentially we are competitors in a way, but still we're friends, a lot of us.
Yeah.
And we're in different aspects where we do different things within the organization side. So, kind of getting through those lows that way. And when I do have downtime, I usually take like classes to get certificates or to brush up on my skills. So I'm constantly learning, and then obviously, I talk to, I have clients that are regulars, but it's not always. Like July is a slow month right now because it's summer. Everybody's on vacation.
No one wants to take on a big project.
But they'll call me in a hurry probably in August about back to school, like, oh my gosh, my kids. So it just depends. But usually I just take, when I have those lows, I try to use it to my best ability, and try to grow more than anything and learn more.
What are some of your favorite resources, whether they're books, podcasts, Facebook groups? Like, what do you use for inspiration and business advice?
Oh my gosh. So I've been following certain blogs for many, many years, and some of them have really grown into like big things.
Yeah.
It's super cool to see. But I use a Feedly account, and I have all my blogs that I go through there. So Neil Stiles is one of my favorites. She's a Texan here.
Okay.
And then I know everybody listens to various podcasts, and that works for them, but I have so many that I go off and on. And then TED Talks, there's various really specific ones. I know you had mentioned Brene Brown, and she's a Houstonian too, and so of course all her stuff is like amazing.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But books wise, I would say, like, if you're a professional organizer trying to get into the industry, Tony Hammersley, she wrote the Guide to Organization. She has a really good one. New Order by Faye Wolf. She has a great book. I love those. And then also, I know it sounds like it's not really with my industry, but I think a really good resource it's called Wowbrary. And so it tells you what you can, what's new to your local library. So it's like a website that you put in what your local library is, and it tells you all the things that week that are coming new. And so you can go in and hold and request. So like if there's certain business books or just fiction or nonfiction, whatever it is that I want to read, I could just go in there. So I love that resource. It's like a personal thing, but all of it is business because I use it. So
I feel like I'm going to be obsessed with that. I didn't know that one. I'm a fan of the local library, and I'm often putting holds or requesting books from other locations to be sent to our library. That's an awesome resource. What's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given?
Oh gosh, I've been given so much advice. So I would probably say one of the best things that people have told me is just take everything with stride. I mean, don't dwell on certain things, because I won't get every job. I won't get everything that I set out to, but I will learn from every experience probably. And I just have to let it go. I can't take it personally. There's certain things you have to let it go. I know, just move on.
Cue the Elsa music, let it go, right? It's so true. And I think all we can keep doing is just keep trying and keep learning, and you're right. Each time a proposal doesn't get signed, sometimes it's a learning lesson, sometimes it's, a growth opportunity, and
exactly.
Just keep going. I love that. What do you think, sort of as an industry expert in your space, both as an entrepreneur and a professional organizer, what do you feel is a trend that is on your radar right now, but you think it'll be kind of mainstream and everyone will be talking about it in another year?
Oh gosh, there are so many trends. So in the professional organizing space, there's certain people, like the home edit is really big. And so
what's the home edit? I don't know that.
Okay, the home
This is why this is a good question, because and me as a layperson, I don't know. Okay.
The home edit is they're two professional organizers based out of Nashville, and they just got signed on with Target to be their professional organizing gurus. Oh, wow. But they do very clean spaces and awesome. They have awesome spaces, but they use a lot of acrylic and very modern, and so it's very, very popular, and a lot of clients want their house to look like the home edit does it.
Okay.
But not everybody's needs are the same, so or what they can and can't do. But so I think the trend will probably still stay there, where organizing, there's a lot of acrylic used right now. It's very clear containers, and I think it'll start to stay the same, but then we'll go out into different things, not so much modern. I think it'll go back to more maybe traditional, or I don't know per se, but that's kind of where my clients are veering towards. And then as a professional organizer, I'm getting asked more and more, not organizing, I'm getting asked to organize spaces, but I'm asked more on kind of like a coaching side. They're asking me to be there while they help them make decisions, basically, and make sure their schedules are organized in an efficient way to plan out their day, week, month, or whatever it is. And so I think that'll be more of a trend and how things are going. And then what's that?
Are you finding that your clients are using more technology, like apps, to help organize their calendar and things like that? Yeah, you're seeing a lot of that.
Yes, I'm seeing a lot of that. But like I said, it depends. So a lot of people are very visual, and they still want to use specific planners.
Sure.
And having everything on their phone isn't always conducive. More times than not, people get very frustrated, depending on which demographic of clients I have. Yeah. And so, but yeah, they're definitely using apps and, electronic sources, whether that's through a calendar or Google Docs or whatever.
That's really cool. I noticed that as a family, we're using so many more apps now than we used to. Get this. So our kids, like many kids, right? We're not unique in this situation. They're constantly asking for screen time. And like all parents right now, we're trying to set up some sort of limits for that. And so what I found about a month ago was if I just put on my Google Calendar a screen time calendar, and my kids could sign up for the time they wanted and the game or the activity that they wanted, that eliminated all that anxiety and questioning of, can I have screen time? Can I have screen time? It's simply screen time's at 3:00 today. And I'm like, it's amazing, that simple little thing. And Google Calendar is not new, but that was revolutionary for me.
No, it really is. It's great to see how, because I do certain stuff with different clients. So we'll set up and that way. And it's great. Like technology is great if you can utilize it and make it efficient. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, as we wrap up, my last question is, what advice would you give a younger version of yourself?
Oh gosh, advice I would give myself is just to once again just kind of let things go. I think when I was younger, I dwelled on not getting something as much, or like, why? What did I do wrong? Like, could I have said something different? Could I have been different? It was just like, no, I just wasn't a good fit for that person, you know?
Yeah.
Or even with the concierge side of stuff, it's like, well, why did that not go right? Like, we planned everything specifically. Like, this should have been, like, by all accounts. And I'm like, okay, these are external circumstances that I had no control of, you know, the back end, and not everybody always tells you all that, you know, and so it just depends. So I think advice would be like, not be so uptight.
Right. I love that. You got to just go with it. Well, thank you, Amy, for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.